Well, the crowds are back in force here for the second and final day of the National Dairy Show in the Greenglens Arena in Mill Street in County Cork. It's the 40th anniversary of the show, which is back in person for the first time since 2019. There's 18 classes today with 150 exhibitors hoping to catch the eye of Judge David Jones and be named Supreme Champion. But that's not all that's been happening at the show here today. Here's a sample of what the crowds have been experiencing in the Greenglens Arena.
So we're here with Izzy Jones and her heifer Jones Hanako J-Lo, who's after just winning the junior champion here at the National Dairy Show. So I suppose, could you just tell us a little bit about her?
Yeah, so her mother we bought as an embryo from Canada, and her mother, so that may be her grandmother. Her grandmother was Canadian Cow of the Year. She's called Nonendale Jasmine. Okay. And yeah, so we thought she was a really good cow, and so we bought some embryos out of her by Doorman. And so the Doorman heifer that we had born was actually born in the UK at my mum and dad's. And then about 2 years ago, we moved to Ireland. Gary, my husband, he's from Wexford, and we brought any animals that we had with us. So she was one of them. And anyway, yeah, got a bred to Hanako, and here she is. This is the result.
And yeah. I suppose, how has the show gone? Obviously, a lot of prep work goes into getting here and getting the animals ready for showing, and even in the ring, you know, you have to. It's all the all new environment, different people around. How's it gone? And yeah,
good. I mean, the show day is a very small part of the whole presentation of the animal. Yeah. It's every day working with them and getting them in the right shape, the right diet. There's a lot of preparation. It's not just at the show. But obviously, like, the finesse of the show day is obviously what gets them out right. But yeah, no, it all went good. Yeah, yeah, obviously, hopefully. The judge liked it.
Yeah, the judge liked it. And so what's the plan now for her? What's the...
hopefully, all being well, the first thing is we'll hopefully get a bred. And there's a show in December in the north, the Ulster Winter Fair. Hopefully, if health restrictions allow, we'll be able to go there with a few that we've got, and hopefully she'll be one of them.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Thanks a lot for chatting to us, Izzy.
No problem.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
As part of the attractions here on day 2 of the National Dairy Show at the Greenglens Arena in Mill Street in County Cork are seminars looking at some of the issues affecting dairy farmers on the ground, including animal health and milk price. But also among the topics being discussed today are changes to the nitrates derogation and the nitrates programme. And the moderator of the discussion today was IFA Policy Executive for Dairy, that's Carl Kassan, and of course a proud Kerry dairy farmer. You've made it over the border to Cork, Carl.
I have indeed, Aisling, and I'm hoping to make it back again this evening.
Obviously, as I said, the nitrates programme and changes that are on the way, it's of major concern, particularly to dairy farmers.
It is indeed, because I guess the nitrates directive, it actually works across all agriculture, but in the main, the main amount of people in derogation are actually dairy farmers, so it's mainly dairy farmers that would have concerns around what's happening and the new rules that are coming into place. So just to give a little bit of history, a new nitrates action plan was adopted earlier on this year, back in March, and that's going to run to 2025. But as part of that, as part of Ireland getting that extension of the derogation, a lot of new rules have actually been put in place, and there's a lot of, what I would say is there's a lot of concern out there with dairy farmers because they're not quite sure exactly what's happening with some of these new rules. And it's actually one point that we would make very strongly within the IFA, especially to the department when we're talking to them, is that there probably needs to be much better communication of exactly what is changing, and so that farmers actually have a better understanding of exactly what they now need to do to be in compliance with the derogation.
And Carl, I suppose having seminars like this at the National Dairy Show allow farmers to discuss something that is quite a complex area and to try and understand the changes that are going to be expected of them.
It does indeed, and it was actually great to have the opportunity this morning and to have such an expert panel that we were discussing it. So I mean, some of these are actually very technical, some of the changes are coming this time. So I mean, one of the bigger concerns with a lot of farmers is the new banding that's coming in place. So traditionally there was always just one nitrates excretion rate for cows, which is currently 89 kgs per cow, but going forward from the 1st of January 2023 there's actually going to be 3 bands. So they're going to be dependent on what your production is. So if you're under 4,500 kgs, it'll be 80. If you're between 4.5 and 6.5, it's 92. And if you're over 6,500 kgs, which is roughly 6,300 litres per cow, it's actually an amount of 106 kgs. And even the calculation of that, there's complications there. So to get to which level you're at, it's actually on a 3-year rolling average. So it's looking at what milk you actually did supply to your co-op in 2020, 21 and 22, and how many cows are on your holding. So there's a lot of information there that farmers actually need to figure out themselves and see exactly which band they're coming into. And again, back to the information part, I think there is a big gap there with the department where they actually need to inform farmers exactly how this has been calculated and even get that information out there as soon as possible once we know what it is of which band a farmer is actually falling into.
Thank you very much, Carl. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much, Aisling.
So we're here with Terry Dillon, the MC here at the National Dairy Show. So Terry, how did you get the job, first of all?
I was probably down the list and a good few fellas they'd asked before me, and I ended up being the one that they nailed. But I know it's really enjoyable, and sure, look, it's nice to give back to the show that's been so successful for years, so it's great.
Yeah. And are you involved in the kind of Holstein breeding yourself? Or
yeah, look, sure, I grew up with it. My dad was chief executive of the IHFA, so yeah, I've been involved in cattle breeding for 20, 30 years, so yeah, it sort of comes second nature.
Yeah, and I suppose we're now into day 2 and there's been a lot of classes gone ahead. How has it gone? Like, what's the...
I think it's amazing. I think, we had to rejig this place here to make it viable, and I think the lads have done a brilliant job because your atmosphere here is fantastic. It's especially, I thought, for the handler classes yesterday where there'd normally be very few around.
Yeah.
But like, it was 3 and 4 deep at the ring, and I think it's brilliant for them. They're young people and they're getting involved in showing cattle, and it's great when you can have a big crowd in front of you and you're showing your enthusiasm to them. I think it's great. So I thought it went exceptionally well,
Yeah. And so has that kind of been your highlight of the couple of days so far?
Oh yeah, but the standard of cattle that are here as well is brilliant. I think it really just shows what Ireland has to offer in the standard of cattle that's here, but also the commitment to the breeders and the exhibitors. Huge amount of work goes into it, but and you can't underestimate the work. So hats off to all of these guys that bring calves, bring milkers, bring everything here, and I just thought, it's a pleasure to be involved in it, and it's a great show so far, and I think it's only going to get better. And I suppose the one thing that I really enjoyed yesterday was I think the girls are dominating in all the young handlers classes. Yeah. There's a lot of girls in the classes, and it's great to see,
Yeah. No, look, best of luck over the rest of the day, and thanks a lot for talking to us.
No problem. Thanks, Brian.
Well, it's a hive of activity here at the show ring in the National Dairy Show in the Greenglens Arena in Mill Street in County Cork. We're here at the stand of one of the platinum sponsors of the show, that's Dairy Gold. John Valance is regional manager with the processor. John, 40 years of the National Dairy Show. Dairy Gold has been here every step of the way with the National Dairy Show. Great to be back in person for the first time since 2019.
Yeah, no, look, I suppose it's an honour to be involved for so long here since the start. I suppose having the 40th year anniversary on the return of in-person shows after a 3-year break is massive as well. So no, it's great to show the sport to the dairy farmers. All the lads here put in an awful amount of work, so the least we could do is turn up and show our support anyway, and we're very proud to do so. And
is it great to meet farmers in person, John, on the ground, face to face? We've had a lot of Zooms over the last few years.
Yeah, I know, look, it's massive to get back in person. I suppose it's a very personal show to a lot of farmers. The dairy farmers in particular take a lot of pride in it, take a lot of pride in coming back to it. I suppose it's one of the more intimate shows for its size as well, so no, it's definitely great to have people on the ground here and meet and greet, and it's more casual, I suppose, than what we normally do on our day-to-day, so it's great to see fellas and just relaxing for a change and just having that kind of general chit-chat conversation is great too.
Yeah, and we have, the young handlers are behind us in the ring at the moment, and young stock. It's great to see the top dairy stock on show here, and handlers of all ages as well taking part.
Yeah, no, look, it's a great chance to come out and see the creme de la creme of dairy stock. And look, I suppose agriculture has an older age profile. It's massive to see such a young variety of handlers there, and I suppose the next generation are interested in that the industry is in good hands going forward.
Yeah, and look, finally, I suppose it's a good year for milk price, it's a good year for dairy farmers on the whole, but that's not to say that the industry is not without its challenges. Sustainability is a big buzzword, and that's something you're focusing here on at the show.
I know, look, it's massive. I know the year started with a lot of doubt around it, with input costs and everything, but look, milk prices stayed strong and continued to rise throughout the year, so that gave fellas great confidence. Look, I suppose the industry is not without its struggles. Input costs are still very up and down as the year goes on. And look, sustainability is the buzzword, and I suppose kind of a worrying thing for some farmers, but look, dairy farmers are a resilient bunch of lads. I'm sure whatever's thrown at them, they'll power on and they'll keep the industry going for as long as they can anyway.
John, thank you so much and
no
enjoy the
problem at
show.
all. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
So we're here with Gary Jones from Jones Holstein, and he's just after winning the intermediate championship here. So he's going to tell us a little about the intermediate champion.
The intermediate champion, she was actually purchased her as an embryo. I worked the sale in Quebec in Canada, and a day or two before the sale I really liked this cow, but I knew I couldn't afford her, so I asked the guys was there any embryos available, and we made a bit of a deal before the sale, and it was lucky. Day later, 2 days later, she sold for 200,000 and went on to be intermediate champion at the Royal in Madison. So I was a little unlucky with the embryos. I just ended up with one, but if you end up with one good one, it makes it worthwhile.
Yeah, and I suppose she was also born in the UK, so she actually had not a. You can see the UK tags.
No, that's correct. Myself and Izzy, we've only moved back from the UK 2 years there now. So we moved. We used to keep a lot of the animals at our in-laws' place, Izzy's parents, and they're a half owner in her. So we own her together with Andy and Jane Knowlesmere. So that's where the Knowlesmere Jones comes from. So it is. So yeah, no, it's pretty cool.
And I suppose you're also, we should highlight that you won the junior championship as well here.
Yeah, no, we've been lucky. We've had a really good day. So we have. We've, as I say, we've only moved 2 years ago, and we're sort of trying to get stuff sorted out in the new house. And I'm lucky, my brother, he actually milks the cows for me. Yeah. So he does only have 4 or 5 milking there, but he does a really great job with them. So we're really lucky he does that, you know.
That's perfect. Congratulations, awesome. And thanks for talking to us.
Thank you very much. Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
And that's all from the 2022 National Dairy Show here in the Green Glens Arena in Mill Street in County Cork. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage over the past few days, and don't forget to log on to agriland.ie for a full list of results from the show.